Tierra here with Gypsyfae Creations. Thanks so much for tuning in. I recently received a package from Brambleberry and it included their Spa Retreat fragrance line, and there's 4 fragrances in it. And when I got it, I immediately sat down and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what to do with these fragrances. I need to come up with some ideas quick. First thing that popped in my mind when I saw this fragrance was resin art and pressed flowers and botanicals. I don't know why, that's just what came to mind. So the notes in this fragrance are chamomile, bergamot, lavender, orange blossom, honey, essential oils of lemon and fennel, earthy notes of green tea, and musk. And it says it behaves well in cold process and it does not discolor. So I am trying something new. I have never done this before. I don't know if it's ever been done before. I don't know if it's going to work. It's kind of an experiment with the hopes that it turns out really cool, of course. Drawing on the inspiration from the botanicals and the earthy notes that are in there, I want to add some natural colorants to this, starting with some gold Brazilian clay. I'm going to pop that in there, and then I have some chamomile powder that I'm going to also add in there. I'm going to mix that in first, and hopefully that turns out the color that I want. I'm going to put a picture up of some of the inspiration if you guys have never seen pressed flowers or pressed leaves that have been put in clear acrylic jewelry. It's really pretty. Alright, so let's mix that in. Okay, let's add our fragrance and stir that in. This is probably the favorite of mine out of all 4 of the fragrances. It's very, very fresh. Has a little bit of an herbal bite to it, but it's more floral with a little bit of sweetness to it. It's just really nice. So this is going to be a very quick design. The bars are going to be single-sized bars. I'm not pouring this into a mold or cutting it or anything. I'm just going to pour it into individual cavities in a brand new mold that I've never used before, that I bought off Amazon just for this soap. Alright, let's get to pouring this. So here's the mold that I'm using. According to the description, it holds 4 ounces of soap. I am not going to fill this all the way up to the top though, and I'm really happy that this is staying very fluid. So I think I'm going to fill it up almost all the way to the top so that it leaves room for the rest of my design. I really like this color too. It's very earthy. It's got that clay in there. It's got the chamomile botanical powder in there. I think it's going to be really pretty, and it's going to make the design on top really pop. So I've let that set up because I want to set these pressed ferns, and these are some baby's breath on top of here, and I don't want them to sink, and I don't want the soap to cause them to change colors, because if you add botanicals to cold process soap, it usually just turns brown. So this is the part that I'm hoping turns out. This is the experimental part in this whole entire soap, is getting these on here. And then I'm going to cover this, and I think I'm putting them on backwards. So let's see if I can get that off without ruining anything. I'm going to put some clear melt and pour soap on top of this, just to kind of seal everything in and to make it look like it's suspended. So that is the plan, and hopefully it turns out. But I think waiting for that soap to set up just so that I can press them on there and they stay in place will work best. And then I'm going to put the baby's breath on there and probably push them into the soap just a little bit so that they don't go floating. It's best if you work with a very, very clear melt and pour. Mine is not quite crystal clear, so I'm only going to be putting on a thin layer of it, and that's because I like to work with detergent-free melt and pour. So even for this design, I didn't want to change my method here. So another part of the experiment. Hopefully it still looks good. And that the melt and pour soap sticks to the top of this cold process soap. When I was little, I loved pressing flowers. I don't know where I learned it from, but I remember getting this little kit, I don't know, for Christmas or my birthday or something along those lines, that you could press flowers in. And it was kind of a pain in the butt because when you took it apart, it came apart into a million pieces. My favorite method was to get a really thick book, and I would put the flowers and leaves in between the pages, and I would stick it under my mattress, and that created enough weight to really press the flowers. So, don't know where I got that idea from either. Obviously, I don't do it anymore, and I haven't done it in a while. But now that I am obsessed, I messed that up, now I've got to cover it up. Now that I'm obsessed with the soap, I just like breathed and it flew. I'm going to have to start pressing flowers more often, or drying flowers more often. These baby's breath came from a bouquet that I had, but I did buy the ferns off of Amazon because I needed them quick. And nowadays it's really popular to put them in resin jewelry, and I have not done that yet. When I was little, I would put them on cards, and that is the only thing that I ever did with pressed flowers that I can think of or remember. Now there's just so many arts and crafts out there that you can do pressed flowers, and they sell all kinds of them on Amazon. So if you put in like pressed flowers, so many pop up. But I think I want to start pressing my own. Alright, so I'm just placing these randomly throughout here. It's going to take me a while because they are so tiny. I'm trying not to stick my fingers in the soap and mess it up. I want that surface to stay pretty smooth. So I got on as many of those as I thought looked good. I wish I would have had a pair of tweezers. It probably would have made it easier. I also don't know if melt and pour turns botanicals brown, but we will find out. I have some rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle off to the side for the melt and pour, that if there's any bubbles in there, I just get a little spritz and they will disappear. And hopefully this looks like they're encased in, I don't know, resin or glass, whichever you prefer to think. And so that's it. I'm going to let these sit for 24 hours and I'll come back and unmold them and see how it turns out. Your guess is as good as mine. Alright, let's see if I can get these unmolded. This is my second attempt at this because I'm not a big fan of this mold. It is so difficult to get them to release cleanly. They just stick to the bottom, and I even added sodium lactate to this, so I don't understand. I can plane it though and smooth it out and they'll be fine, but I'm just really disappointed in this mold. I don't know, maybe if it works better for melt and pour and not cold process, or maybe a different recipe, but I am not a fan. Oh well, to find other uses for it. I did notice that the baby's breath did turn yellow, so that did bleed and discolor from being added in soap, since most botanicals do. Not mad at it though, it reminds me very much of the chamomile flowers. This soap will be available on March 27th, so if you would like to purchase one, that is when it will be released. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. New to the channel and enjoy watching soap making, there's more soap making to come on this channel, so be sure to subscribe. Any questions or comments, you can leave them in the comment section down below. And until next time, I hope you guys have a very nice day. I will smell you later.